We start with breaking news now at 6. 15 people are dead after a school shooting in Uvalde. We're getting the latest details and we'll have them all for you tonight.
Yeah, Governor Greg Abbott has confirmed that 14 children and 1 teacher are dead. Several others are in the hospital in critical condition. This is a live look after a shooting inside Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. It's about 90 minutes west of San Antonio. Governor Greg Abbott is speaking out about it.
First, I want to tell you that what happened in Uvalde is a horrific tragedy that cannot be tolerated in the state of Texas. And there is swift action being taken by local law enforcement as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety. They obviously now know who the shooter was, and the shooter is no longer alive. Let me give you some details, and then I'll give you a summation about that. The shooter was Salvador Ramos, an 18-year-old male who resided in Uvalde. It's believed that he abandoned his vehicle and entered into the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde with a handgun, and he may have also had a rifle, but that is not yet confirmed according to my most recent report. He shot and killed horrifically, incomprehensibly, 14 students and killed a teacher. Mr. Ramos, the shooter, he himself is deceased and is believed that responding officers killed him. It appears that 2 responding officers were struck by rounds but have no serious injuries. The Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District Police Department is the investigating agency, and we will provide them and the city of Uvalde substantial investigative and patrol assistance.
Here's a look at that suspect, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. Like Governor Abbott said, he lived in Uvalde. The governor said he got reports saying the man shot his grandmother in her home, then shot up the school. Governor Abbott is giving us more insight on that investigation tonight.
We're in the process of obtaining detailed background information on the subject, his motive, the types of weapons used, the legal authority to possess them, and conduct a comprehensive crime scene investigation and reconstruction, and identify and interview all witnesses and provide victim services and other support as needed.
Abbott said Ramos was reportedly a student at Uvalde High School, or was a former student. The district's police chief says it appears that he acted alone. Abbott said Ramos shot and killed his grandmother before he went on the shooting rampage around 11:30 this morning at Robb Elementary School. Here's a look at the police surrounding Ramos's truck that he abandoned that day. The shooting is also getting a lot of attention on the House floor tonight.
Even senators in Connecticut are now speaking out on the tragic deaths of the 15 people.
Senator from Connecticut.
Mr. President, there are 14 kids dead in an elementary school in Texas right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? Just days after a shooter walked into a grocery store to gun down African American patrons, we have another Sandy Hook on our hands. What are we doing? There have been more mass shootings than days in the year. Our kids are living in fear every single time they set foot in the classroom because they think they're going to be next. What are we doing? Why do you spend all this time running for the United States Senate? Why do you go through all the hassle of getting this job, of putting yourself in a position of authority, if your answer is that as this slaughter increases, as our kids run for their lives, we do nothing? What are we doing? Why are you here? If not to solve a problem as existential as this. This isn't inevitable. These kids weren't unlucky. This only happens in this country and nowhere else. Nowhere else do little kids go to school thinking that they might be shot that day. Nowhere else do parents have to talk to their kids, as I have had to do, about why they got locked into a bathroom and told to be quiet for 5 minutes just in case a bad man entered that building. Nowhere else does that happen except here in the United States of America, and it is a choice. It is our choice to let it continue.
You know, I've been one that has been out there on when any shootings you have like this, there's generally a mental illness factor to it. When I learned more details of it being at a school, I was on a school board for 10 years back in Indiana, and many, many years ago, we put a lot of investment and effort in school security. So, I mean, it's hard to imagine how something like this can happen, but I think that we got to get better finding out when these individuals telegraph this, ferreting it out before the horrific act occurs on schools in general. You got to take it seriously to make sure they're secured well. So, you know, and I think that you got to start where there's agreement among some of us. And I'm going to stake that out there on my own, that we got to do better at that. He may be right, but if you want to get something done, you're going to have to start with a few of us that are going to acknowledge commonalities to this. And when you are telegraphing this ahead of time, even in the form of a manifesto, you've got to be on it. And I think law enforcement's got to do a better job with it.
Well, President Biden is reacting tonight as well. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says, quote, President Biden has been briefed on the horrific news of the elementary school shooting in Texas and will continue to be briefed regularly as information becomes available. His prayers are with the families impacted by this awful event, and he will speak this evening when he arrives back at the White House. So that is the latest from President Biden. And White House flags were also lowered to half-staff this afternoon. Stay updated here on ABC Big 2 News as we await reaction from the president.
Texas Senator John Cornyn released a statement this afternoon as well. He says, quote, the shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde is every parent and teacher's worst nightmare. No parent, child, or teacher should ever have to wonder whether it's safe to go to school. My heart goes out to those in the hospital receiving care and to the loved ones of those who lost their lives. As a parent, the pain they must be feeling is unimaginable.
This is an ABC Big 2 News severe weather alert.
Well, good evening, everybody. We have another tornado warning issued now, lasting until 6:45 p.m. in Glasscock County. Now, this is for the same storm cell that brought a lot of hail to Midland, and downtown Midland was included in that. Now, the path of the storm is still tracking down to the south and east, but we are now seeing a very strong couplet here on our velocity product, which indicates very strong rotation. This could very well be a tornado that we're looking at right now on the velocity product. However, that is not confirmed by storm spotters. This is radar indicated rotation, but we certainly are seeing that classic feature, these reds and greens meeting up, even some of these yellows showing up within the red patch, indicating that there is strong rotation with this storm. Now, the storm cell is going to continue tracking down to the south and east. Again, that tornado warning is in effect until 6:45 p.m. So keep it here to ABC Big 2 News. We'll keep you posted on the latest on these thunderstorms as well as where these tornadic storms are headed coming up in a little bit. First, back to you.
This is an ABC Big 2 breaking news alert.
All right, thanks for that update, Chase. And now to more reaction from the school shooting in Uvalde. Senator Ted Cruz released a statement saying, in part, quote, today is a dark day. We're all completely sickened and heartbroken. I'm grateful for the heroes in law enforcement and the first responders who responded to the scene and stopped the killer.
Bottom line is this, however, and that is, when parents drop their kids off at school, they have every expectation to know that they're going to be able to pick their child up when that school day ends. And there are families who are in mourning right now, and the state of Texas is in mourning with them for the reality that these parents are not going to be able to pick up their children. Our job is multifold. First, to make sure we address exactly what happened at this crime scene, and then second, to make sure we take that information and do everything that is necessary to ensure that crime scenes like this are not going to be repeated in the future, and that we're going to be able to ensure the safety and security of our schools.
Now, parents waited for hours to pick up their kids from that school. Tonight, we're hearing from one of them.
I just saw the stops just stop coming, and I keep asking questions of what's going on, and nobody's telling me anything. Nobody's telling me anything. And one of the parents were saying that there's kids possibly held at the funeral home, and that's what brought me over here to find out what's going on, and nobody's telling me anything that's going on. There's a lot of confused parents too, where they don't know where Miss Garcia's at, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where is she at? I haven't heard anything. I got a call or anything.
And who's Miss Garcia?
Miss Garcia's her teacher.
And this is what, they're 2 days away from the end of school, right?
Yeah, 2 more days. 2 more days of school.
Do you have somebody else at the other location in case your daughter shows up?
No, it's just me and my wife just here, and just we're at the Civic Center, and said Miss Garcia ain't got here yet, so.
And they didn't know about your daughter because her teacher wasn't there.
Right, yeah.
So because her teacher wasn't there, they couldn't tell you if your daughter was there.
Yeah.
Well, details are still very limited right now. ATF, the FBI, and even Border Patrol are all investigating.
And be sure to keep watching. We'll have more from the district right after the break. Stay with ABC Big 2 News for the latest updates and online at yourbasin.com.
This is an ABC Big 2 News severe weather alert.
And we do still have that tornado warning in Glasscock County lasting until 6:45 p.m. You can see strong evidence of that rotational couplet here on our Velocity product. And it is right here. You can see that large area of rotation. Now, we'll go ahead and give you the latest on these thunderstorms, where they're headed, and what to expect for the rest of the evening. Coming up after the break.
For your latest news, listen to Big 2 updates weekday mornings beginning at 6 on your all-time country favorites, Kicks 99.1.
Hi, Christina here at Lithia Hyundai of Odessa. I know it looks like we're closed, but we're open during our remodel. Come check out our under construction sale. It's going on now.
This week for Memorial Day, check out our great quality pre-owned vehicles like this 2008 GMC Sierra 1500 for only $12,995 or just $219 a month. But hurry, a great truck like this will go fast.
So come check out our under construction sale going on now only at Lithia Hyundai of Odessa, where we're proud to be your one and only Hyundai dealer in the Permian Basin.
Are you ready for an elevated tattoo experience? High Society's private studio has exactly what you're looking for. Upscale tattooing for upscale clientele. Our top quality tattoos at Immaculate Studio are unbeatable. Come and see the difference at High Society.
Something weird is going on with Holy Moly.
I wish I could help you, Rob.
That's a great idea. The Muppets and Rob Riggle save Holy Moly.
ABC Tonight.
TV's most extreme mini golf show is now sensational,
I'm ready!
celebrational,
That was a hole-in-one!
and totally Muppetational.
Yeah.
Green machine.
One question. Why?
Cause it's Holy Moly forever. New tonight on ABC.
At All-American Chevrolet of Midland, it's time for our biggest sale of the year. It's the 21st Annual May Challenge. We are stocked up on all our new inventory for this huge sale with new Silverados, SUVs, cars. We have it all. But if you're in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, we have what you'll need, like this May Challenge special. Take your pick from this 2010 Silverado 2500 or 2018 Jeep Renegade. Each only $24,988 or only $299 a month. This sale ends Monday, so don't miss it. Our 21st Annual May Challenge, where the real winner is you at All-American Chevrolet of Midland.
Citron's Used Auto Parts, 24 acres of thousands of used parts for early and late model vehicles. Why buy new when used will do? Citron's Used Auto Parts has ready-to-use motors, transmissions, and body parts, along with standard 30-day warranty. Save money at Citron's Used Auto Parts in West Odessa on Business 20 between West Loop 338 and FM 1936. Call Citron's today at 432-381-2401. See how you can save money and get your vehicle back on the road. That's 432-381-2401.
Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab. This is an ABC ABC Big 2 Breaking News Alert.
Now back to that tragic shooting. Governor Greg Abbott has confirmed that 14 children and 1 teacher are dead. Several others are in the hospital in critical condition after a shooting inside Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. That's about 90 minutes west of San Antonio. This is a live look from there tonight. Now we'll continue to bring you the latest on this story.
Yeah, but we're also talking about some severe weather in the basin. That's where we turn right to Chief Meteorologist Chase Menendez with the latest.
And Chase, you're tracking a couple of storms tonight.
Yes, a couple more than a couple, as a matter of fact. It is a very busy day out here. Now, if you haven't been outside in Odessa, this is about what you're looking at. Very, very dense conditions, a lot of wind, a lot of dust, and of course some rain, really affecting visibility. Now, our sky tracker here in Odessa is really not that high up off the ground compared to other sky trackers. So to see it bouncing around that much really indicates some strong winds. Now here in Midland, we've got a very dynamic view, a lot of different cloud formations happening, most of which have very defined cloud floors, which is actually indicative of some very strong energy in the upper parts of the atmosphere. Off to the right-hand side of your frame, you can see some dark clouds indicating, again, a lot of that energy and a lot of rain in the distance. But on the left-hand side of your frame, you can see what is to come. This is generally what it looks like before we see some very strong weather moving through. A very defined definition difference between the clouds and the sky, as well as a lot of flowing brush strokes almost, it looks like, in the clouds due to very strong winds in the mid and upper parts of the atmosphere, which can fuel these thunderstorms. Speaking of the winds, though, you can also see, if you notice, these clouds are very slowly drifting towards the left-hand part of your frame, again indicating just how much energy is out there. Now, switching over here to our weather alerts, we can see that there is an enhanced risk issued by the Storm Prediction Center outlined for parts of the eastern basin. Now, that's stage 3 out of 5 on the severe weather risk scale, certainly indicating a good chance for strong hailstorms as well as damaging wind gusts. Even isolated tornadoes are possible within this orange area. As outlined in this yellow area, we do see a slight risk, which generally indicates a chance for isolated hailstorms and damaging winds and a much lower probability of any kind of tornadic activity. Now, we do see a large amount of rainfall being produced across the northern part of the basin, generally outlined under this pink areas where we're seeing the highest chance for some severe thunderstorms. That's why the National Weather Service has come through and issued a severe thunderstorm watch outlined until 10 p.m. this evening. Now, that does mean watch out. We could be looking at a chance for some strong to severe thunderstorms, and certainly that is what we're seeing out there right now. We've got a tornado warning just off to the east of Lubbock, as well as an update to our tornado warning here in West Texas. This one has just been issued. You can see it flashing, indicating that it has been updated, now set to expire at 6:45 p.m. Central Time. This storm is still producing a lot of hail and a lot of damaging winds. You can see it tracking down to the south and east, and even on the radar, you can see a little bit of a notch beginning to form right there on the latest update slide, which indicates that couplet. Now, turning to the velocity product, this is going to show rotation, which is very important when looking at tornadoes because that's essentially what they are, just rotation. Here is where we're looking right now, seeing that couplet, very bright yellows, very bright reds right next to each other, indicate that couplet, which could be a tornado. Now, as far as I'm aware, this is not a tornado spotted storm, which means we do not have ground verification of that tornado. But with a couplet this strong, it is radar indicated, very safe to assume that there is a tornado out there, generally down to the south of Big Spring and down to the south and east of Midland. So make sure to stay indoors as this storm approaches. If you're in the path of this storm, you are going to want to stay indoors on the ground floor of a sturdy building and avoid being near windows, because not only are we seeing a strong tornado signature, but we also have a large hail core coming with this system. Now, this storm is headed towards Sterling City. So if you're between Midland and Sterling City, make sure again to head indoors and stay on the ground floor of a sturdy building. Now, we do have another severe thunderstorm warning set to expire at 6:45 p.m. just to the south of Andrews. This storm is heading towards Midland, but good news, looks like that hail core is beginning to break up. We certainly saw a hail core earlier through the city center of Midland. Right now, this is about what we're looking at. That light gray generally indicates hail of about a ½ inch in size, not likely big enough to break out any windows or ding up any vehicles, and right now we're not seeing any hail currently. It's just that one hail core, again, associated with that tornadic storm tracking down to the south and east. Now, this is all driven by a cold front, so temperatures tomorrow are going to be a lot colder than what we saw out there today. We'll wake up in the 50s, only pick up to the 60s by about 12 noon, and then warm up to a high temperature in the mid to upper 70s. For the rest of the evening, though, this storm system looks like it's tracking very quickly off to the east, so by about 8-9 p.m. we should be through with the severe weather, which is great news. And switching over here to our 7-day forecast, we can see no more rain chances here in the next 7 days, so we've got our fill with that severe weather out there today. Certainly a couple of tornado warnings definitely are very important, so make sure to head to the indoor area on the ground floor of a sturdy building if you are down to the south and east of Midland. Temperatures will pick up to the triple digits by this weekend, so that heat is coming back.
This is an ABC Big 2 breaking news alert.
All right, we continue to follow that deadly shooting in Uvalde. That's about 90 minutes west of San Antonio, about 4.5 hours from here. We're getting a live look from there tonight. Governor Greg Abbott has confirmed that 14 children and 1 teacher are dead after shooting inside Robb Elementary School there. Now we're getting our first look at the accused shooter. Here's a look at that suspect, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos. Like the governor said, he went to that high school that's in the same town. The governor got a report saying that the man, the suspect, shot his grandmother in her home, then shot up that school.
And tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the school district.
Now the school's police department is speaking out, giving us a little more insight into that investigation.
This school has children that are in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. I can confirm right now that we have several injuries, adults and students, and we do have some deaths. The suspect is deceased at this point. DPS is assisting with the investigation. And at this point, the investigation is leading to tell us that the suspect did act alone during this heinous crime. Families are being notified, and we are providing services to them as the district should. As far as the rest of the district is concerned, safety measures were taken to make sure that we had a safe release for the rest of the district throughout our city of Uvalde. And we had numerous law enforcement officers and agencies that assisted with the safety release for those students. We do want to keep all their families in their prayers. I hope you do as well. And we also want to respect the privacy of the family. The crime scene is still being worked on, and again, we'll notify the parents and the families as soon as we have some news for them. Thank you so much.
We greatly appreciate your understanding and patience with us. Please know at this time, we are only making a statement. We will be releasing more information as the investigation continues.
Well, make sure to download the Ear Basin app for the latest details sent straight to your phone. Hear more details about this shooting after the break. We'll be right back.
Memorial Day mattress sale is even bigger this weekend. Get a free adjustable base on qualifying mattress purchases. Plus, shop Tempur-Pedic Queen mattresses starting at $34 per month. In stock and ready for delivery. Friday through Monday only at Ashley.
What if you were one choice away from changing your life? Or one step closer to a world of new possibilities? At Midland College, we believe in your opportunity to chase your ambitions. That's why we offer the lowest tuition in the region and award up to $1 million in scholarships each year. Start the life you've dreamed of and let Midland College help you take the first step.
Grande is becoming Astound Broadband. We've been a part of your community for years, providing you with award-winning internet service and 24/7 customer support. We connect you to a world of astounding possibilities. Your passions are what fuel us to keep innovating and to continue to astound you every day. Get 300 meg internet for $25.99 a month for 12 months, plus standard Wi-Fi. Introducing Astound Broadband, powered by Grande.
Midland has now been recognized 2 years in a row as one of the healthiest counties in Texas. At Midland Health, we established a vision of making Midland the healthiest community in Texas back in 2015. We have taken steps towards this achievement with the newest technologies and treatments to the latest in preventative practices, along with our many outreach programs. Learn more how you and your family can join us in lighting the way for health by calling 432-221-LIFE. Midland Health.
Hi everyone, Winston Lewis here at All-American Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Midland, and our 21st annual May Challenge is almost over, so don't miss the special deals just for you.
Right now, during our Memorial Day sales event, you can get a new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee for only $576 a month, and that is with 0% APR financing. Or get a new 2021 Jeep Renegade for only $27,153 or just $389 a month. And remember, we want your trade, and we'll give you our top dollar.
So don't miss the final days of the May Challenge going on now at All-American Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Midland. And remember, it's our goal to become the only place to buy a car.
Memorial Day savings are even bigger this weekend at Ashley. Shop amazing deals on in-stock items with free and fast doorstep delivery. Plus, doorbusters up to 50% off starting at $199. Friday through Monday only at Ashley.
Watch Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Beck from West Tex on Good Morning Basin. This is an ABC Big 2 breaking news alert.
Well, White House flags were lowered to half-staff this afternoon in wake of this shooting. Now, Governor Greg Abbott has confirmed that 14 children and 1 teacher died at a school shooting in Uvalde at Robb Elementary School. Here's a live look as the camera's twisting around there, but we are getting a live look from there.
Now, Governor Greg Abbott is giving us some insight into the investigation ahead and says more needs to be done to protect Texas students.
Bottom line is this, however, and that is when parents drop their kids off at school, they have every expectation to know that they're going to be able to pick their child up when that school day ends. And there are families who are in mourning right now. And the state of Texas is in mourning with them for the reality that these parents are not going to be able to pick up their children. Our job is multifold. First, to make sure we address exactly what happened at this crime scene, and then second, to make sure we take that information and do everything that is necessary to ensure that crime scenes like this are not going to be repeated in the future, and that we're going to be able to ensure the safety and security of our schools.
Now, details are still very limited right now. Several agencies are investigating, including ATF, the FBI, and even Border Patrol agents.
And stay with us for the latest updates as we get them on air and online.
Online at yourbasin.com. There you can read the latest information as we get it. We'll be back after the break.